Most people throw their food away without thinking about it. But what if that trash could become a healthy soil, reduce pollution, and help grow food? Today we're going behind the scenes at the compost facility, C&D landfill, and the transfer station to show you how things are actually get transported on the back end. Hey everyone, Gabriel here with Waste Guys. Here today we're at the Gainesville compost C&D MSW transfer station with Waste Eliminators. Andrew is here with me to tell us a little more about this place. Andrew, where are we at? Tell us, what do you guys do here?
Yeah,
what is this facility?
So this is Waste Eliminators Gainesville Waste and Recycling Facility. Behind us here is the composting operation. We also have an MSW transfer station on site and a C&D landfill. So we're putting about 200-ish, well actually let's say between all materials over 1,000 tons a day are flowing through the site at any given time, and we have outbound compost coming through as well. So it's quite the operation.
What's the volume of actual compost that goes through this site every day?
Yeah, so we bring in over 300 tons of biosolids per day to go into our composting. Not quite that for organic material that also gets mixed with the green waste and with the biosolids. Yeah, so we bring in biosolids, organic, mostly from our food manufacturers, all organic material that'll ultimately break down and heighten the nitrogen content of our finished compost. And so it's mainly food grade and pet grade organics and biosolids that we mix with green waste and then mix it on our compost pad here. And we will take that material and we'll bring it out into a windrow and let it sit for about 90 and cook for about 90 days.
For somebody at their own house, if they want to compost their trash, what can go in there? What can and what cannot go in?
Yeah, all organics, right? So think your apple cores, banana peels, things like that. At this particular facility, we don't take household composted waste. We have larger scale industrial and commercial clients that we do that operation for. But I mean, if it's food grade and you could eat it on the front end, then it can go into a compost pile.
Okay, so basically a banana peel gets a second career.
Yes.
In this place. All right.
Exactly, as a soil base.
All right, and how many pieces of equipment you guys have here?
Oh geez, we probably got 15 pieces of yellow iron operating on site. It sounds about, yeah, somewhere in there. Between the C&D landfill, the transfer station, and our composting operation.
So walk us a little more through the process of the organics come in. I see mulch. I see it's cooking, right? That's what you see.
Yeah, so we'll bring in biosolids that's coming from our municipality customers, their wastewater treatment facilities, the material that you flush down the toilet goes there. They'll separate the solids and the liquids. And the solids that come out of that are about 80% moisture, but it's really the texture of like dirt, right? So we'll take that material from our municipality customers, we'll bring that, we'll put it onto the composting pad and mix it about 2 to 1 with green waste, so with mulch, right? We'll add some organics to that too, which is coming from, again, your food manufacturers, pet and food grade material. Will help spike the nitrogen content of that compost. And then mix it all right here on the pad with the wheel loader, and then put that material in a dump off-road truck here, and then bring it over to our windrows, which we'll show you here in a second.
So if there's a formula, if you don't get the formula right, yes, would that smell worse or better?
I don't know its effect on the smell, but I know in terms of the finished product we want and how you want the material to be able to decompose and have the right mixture with the microorganisms and all that, it's about 2 to 1 green waste to biosolids and organic material.
2 to 1, okay.
Yep.
And you basically just let the microbes do their job.
Yeah, right. So again, we'll show you the windrows here in a moment over there. But once it's in the windrow, it's essentially cooking, and then you have billions and billions of little microorganisms that are breaking down that organic material into the base compounds, so essentially nitrogen and carbon and whatnot. And so but it's cooking that material anywhere from 130 to 160 degrees at the windrow over that 90-day period, which reaches PFRP, which is processed to further reduce pathogens. It's the EPA processing, EPA approved processing for organic material that kills any remaining pathogens from, it's the original state of the material, and allows us to use it as a, finished compost product or a soil amendment, whatever it may be.
Instead of taking it to the landfill, you guys actually give it a second life to where that processed material could be used for growing produce, farms. Who are the people that actually take in the material?
Yeah, so we have a pretty wide range of, the outbound compost. So once it sits in the windrow over here for about that 90-day period right now, we'll take that windrow, we'll bring it over to our screener, and the overs from that screening material will come back and we'll run through the whole process again. The finished material will stockpile here, and generally spring and fall is our busy season, and we will sell that to agricultural growers, horticulture, greenhouses, mom and pop nurseries, and it also is, recently found a really good use of it as kind of bioretention soil, for landscaping, side of highways, major construction projects, things like that. It's a really good material for that.
And is the compost soil better than the soil that we have in Georgia for water retention?
Yeah. Well, and the biggest thing with it, it's great for water retention. The biggest thing for that is that, if you mix this with red clay and you mix that up and you use that as a bioretention soil, it seeds a lot better when you're trying to grow grass on it for erosion control and whatever, as opposed to just using, red clay or whatever it is. It seeds much better because you have that organic material in there. You have the nitrogen content to support that.
It's not exactly a fertilizer.
No.
But it supports a healthier grow.
Yeah, exactly. It's much more of a soil based, right? So from that finished compost state, you have the ability, and we have the ability to, for whatever our customers they want to add, perlite or peat moss or bark, to get specific soil blends to, achieve certain, NPK thresholds for whatever that grower wants.
So they just dump something. What is it that they're dumping?
This was a load of biosolids coming in from one of the municipality customers. And so he will dump this in the dump trailer. He'll pull out. The wheel loader will mix that with the green waste and windrow it.
So green waste is the tree shrubs, mulch.
Yeah, essentially ground up tree waste.
You guys produce it here, or you guys also receive it from other places?
We receive it from other locations, yeah.
Okay. Here. I can smell the bacteria working overtime.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wheel loader coming here.
So those are the windrows, right? You can
come this way.
What, about 15 feet, 20 feet wide each row, and they get turned.
Yeah, every couple weeks.
Right? That's just where the process takes place, and that smell probably aerates a little more. So we got Chad here. He's the site manager for Gainesville location. You guys do C&D landfill, MSW transfer station, and organics compost operation.
Yeah.
So Chad, tell us a little more. It seems like you have all the knowledge about the operation, how things work here. Tell us a little more about what comes in here, what exactly happens to that material, and what goes into cooking it, making it.
So as far as the cooking process, once it's mixed in our tent, we bring it out here to the windrows, we let it set, flip it 3 times the first 5 days it's on the pad. Depending on that, we'll flip it every 30 days. We'll take a track hoe, turn it over, and that brings more air into the windrows. So once it's set on the pad, 90 days, we bring it down here, and then that's when the screening process takes. Roughly 2 to 3 days to screen one whole windrow right now. And I mean, you can see the product. I mean, like you said a while ago, there's still a lot of heat in it, but it will cool off as it gets put in a pile.
Yeah, by diverting the material from the landfill, you guys are saving methane output, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because when you use oxygen by turning the piles, that does not create as much methane as the landfill would.
No.
What are the other benefits of actually composting compared to using a landfill?
Well, I mean, if we compost it, you're not sending it to a landfill because it takes up airspace in the landfill. I mean, you're breathing it in. Once it goes through a heat here, the smell eventually goes away. Like I can't smell it right now, which some places you should smell it.
You've got a pretty good tolerance.
Yeah, I mean, you can smell it some, but not too bad.
A little bit, not that bad. No, not that bad at all. And I see some of the cardboard is okay to go into that as well, right? Cardboard, paper could be recycled here.
Cardboard don't break down.
They don't.
Usually you get, if you have bags in there and they're compostable bags, they may not be compostable to our site for the time period we allow for our process. That's where the screen separates it out, and then we'll send it back to the tent, and eventually it will break down. So anything basically that goes through the screen is finished compost. Anything over, we'll reuse again to go back through the system.
Okay.
So this is a C&D operation. So that's our compactor down there. So what he'll do is once the loads are dumped out, he'll spread them out, then start rolling them in. I mean, so the compaction rate, the more you run over it, the more compaction you're gonna have. I mean, all day he's back and forth on it, pushing. He'll level it out, roll it in, then he'll blade it back this way. It's just constantly moving it back and forth to break everything up as much as possible.
And basically he compacts everything so it doesn't take as much space.
Yeah.
This is cell number 4 you mentioned?
Yes, this is 4C where we're working at right now.
And how much material can you fit in here? Or how long of a life does this cell have?
What's open right now, a year to a little bit over a year if it's compacted right.
If it's compacted right, and how high will it get?
Well, about where we're standing at, we'll be level right here. All this will be one level.
In 1 year, it'll fill up to this level?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And then at the same time, you guys are emptying another cell?
Yes, we'll continue working forward right here. As you can see the cuts down here, we'll continue working.
Towards that cell right there? Okay. And how long does it take? Does it take longer to fill it, or does it take longer to haul it away?
It takes longer to haul it out.
It takes longer to haul it out, okay.
So I have a set grade I have to go to, but once I hit that set grade for the cell floor, and if I'm still digging up trash, I've got to chase the waste. So it may be 20 foot, it could be 10 foot, I got to go deeper.
And then you line it?
No, we don't. With C&D landfill, we don't have to have a liner, but we do have to have, we have an under drain system in that we put in, and we have to have 6 foot of dirt over that under drain. So like I said, if we have to chase the waste, we have to dig down to we're getting clean soil, then we have to backfill it and have compaction rates put in and have them do soil tests and all that.
Oh, wow. Okay, quite a bit of operation. Well, thank you. Thank you for showing us this. Let's go to transfer station.
All right.
And talk a little bit more about the MSW transfer station.
All right.
That's amazing. So Chad, this is a brand new addition. You guys just added this MSW transfer station.
Yes.
So tell us a little more about how much material you guys process through here on the MSW side. And
so on a daily, it's 100 to 150 tons a day, with about 8 tons to 15 tons of it being recyclable. We separate the recyclable. When they come in on the trucks, they separate them in the trucks. So when they dump the recyclables out, we hold it to one side, then we load 1 truck a day up to go out as a recyclable. 100 to 150 tons a day, depending. We load usually 4 trucks a day, sometimes 6, depending on how much tons we have come in.
okay. How do you load the trucks? Is there a chute that you shoot?
We load it with this loader. We pull up to the side over here where these, the poles are.
Okay, and then you shoot it down.
Then we pack it down with the piece we've made.
Okay, that's pretty easy. I've seen at some transfer station where they have a wall against, and then that wall gets damaged all the time. Here you don't have a risk of that. It's basically, you just dump it in, that's it.
So all we do here is he'll push it in the corner, like he's keeping the recyclables pushed over here, and he'll push all the MSW to the back corner. And then once the truck comes, he'll load whatever if we're going to load recyclables out. If we have enough for a full load, we'll load them. Then we'll compact them with the forks. We've added a piece to our forks. Swap the bucket out, pack it in the trailer, and then keep adding until it's a full load.
Okay, great. And how much material can you guys process here every day?
So right now it's about 150 tons a day.
150 tons
I'd
a day.
say
Yeah,
it's growing pretty rapidly.
Okay. Thank you very much for having us here today. It's an amazing operation you guys are running, and it runs like a Swiss watch. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So thank you, Chad.
We're busy. Thanks, sir.
Most people look at the waste and see the end of the story. Here at this facility, it becomes something new. In the next video, you'll see how the C&D material gets a second life. Instead of being a haul to a landfill, it's being used for something else. If you have any questions about our services, about what we do and how we do in Atlanta, we would love to help you. Please reach out. Our email is sales@wgwaste. We'll love to help you.